All right, all right, all right. Hello, Gun Nation. We are live. So we'll give it a second. Looks like we got a bunch of good pro A loving, 2A loving people here, and we have humble marksman this evening. Now, just so y'all know, we only have him for about 30 minutes, so we're going to blow through some questions and get his opinions on stuff. He's got to take care of some family stuff. But all right, this is the Humble Marksman for y'all who don't know him. If you don't know him, subscribe to the Humble Marksman on YouTube and Instagram and all that good stuff. So, hello, Humble. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Oh man, if I'm any better, I'd be you. They'd call me.
Oh, I don't know
They would
about
call
that,
me
man.
Big Humble Guns and Gear. That's what they
There you
call me.
go. There you go. But yeah, I've got a whole series of questions just so y'all know, and Humble does not even know what they are. So some might catch him off guard, but some, are going to be up his alley. But we'll go ahead and get cranking on it. And like I said, he's going to have to
I,
jump
I
off at eight.
thought I thought we were just talking about the Taurus G3 XL. I thought this whole chat was just about that and how much we both love it, especially you. You
About the
got your
Taurus
orange one.
guns.
Yeah, that's all.
Ooh,
That's what we were doing here.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm not the Taurus guy. I've had my,
A lot of
and everybody thinks I'm a Taurus hater, but I've had my run with Taurus back in the day, and it wasn't a good run. So I haven't jumped on any bandwagons. I know you've done some stuff with them, and hell, you've had some issues, and then had some good stuff too. So,
Yeah, you guys don't know that about Big Johnson, but he for every Staccato he buys about 17 Tauruses. So he's got he's got a bunch of them. It's
yeah,
great. Big
yeah.
crate full of Tauruses.
James Manning is
Tauri.
saying, "Woo, there's a whole lot of handsome here." I don't know about that.
Oh, I paid him
Yeah,
to say that. That's how
there you
that
go.
works.
Yeah, he's
People
Humble's
say
got his
nice
life.
things about you. Here, take your
Humble's
wife
got
out
it.
to dinner.
Yeah, Humble's got his life vest on just in case I make some of these questions cause him to float. But
Mm-hmm.
all right, we're going to jump into it. And thanks for everyone. We're not going to do a roll call because I only have him for 30 minutes. So I hope y'all understand. But after he jumps off, we'll answer any questions in case y'all forgot what he said. I'll try to remember it. But got the main question: when and how did you get into guns?
When and how? Well, that's a fun one. When was just after the Aurora, Colorado high school shoot or movie theater shooting back when Obama was president. And he was, there's about a 2 or 3 week lead up there where he's threatening to take executive action on guns if Congress wasn't able to give him a gun bill. And so you didn't have to tell me twice. I'd always liked guns and video games and stuff like that growing up. And I was like, well, they're going to make them illegal. I'm going to go buy one, so I at least have one. And so I went and I bought the very finest in starter pistols, compared it to a Glock 19C. And I was like,
Okay.
well, why would I want this when this one has so many more features? It was Springfield Armory XD9 service. Saved like $100 on that bad boy.
Ooh.
And it had more safeties. It had a better trigger, in my opinion, back then. The sights were better, but that's still true. And so that was it. And I kind of got in there. But as far as actually becoming a shooter, so I was like, well, I've got this gun now. I need to understand what the heck I'm doing. So I took a class at the range on kind of like the new gun guy stuff. And I just would go, every 2 weeks or so, I'd go to the indoor range and put 50 or 100 rounds down range like a bunch of people would. And then I noticed the TVs at the range I was going to had like what looked like real life video games going on because they hosted an indoor IDPA match. And I was like, well, that looks awesome. And I like to think of myself as awesome. So I want to do that. And so I did that. And then it just kind of, I was like, that was really cool. I'm going to do that again. And then basically, it was at least once a month because as finances allowed, I could, save up the money, get my rounds of ammo and go shoot my IDPA match. And then, every month I found some space in the budget to make it every 2 weeks. And then it became every week. And then I became match director. I started shooting major matches. And then, kind of topped out at a point where I was, deep into the local match at IDPA. And I was like, well, I'll try this USPSA thing. I hear about that. And that's about 2.5 years later. And I started shooting USPSA and went from being like the big fish in a small pond to I won't say a small fish, but a largish small fish in a very much bigger pond, and just like, wow, as good as I thought I was with guns, I suck. I need to get better, and just started pursuing it harder. And then there was a bunch of bad information about competition guns on the internet. And then being sleep deprived and a new dad, I was like, I'll just film these YouTube videos. I mean, all he needs is a camera phone, right? I got one of those. I can post some videos. So I made a lot of bad videos for a few years. And I was like, well, I might as well make good videos. So I started trying to make good videos. And then I'll let you guys know when I start connecting in that. But that's the goal right now, is to make good videos. So
cool. Yeah, I mean, I think you make good videos. You blow mine out of the water, but I put a little effort into it. I know you put a lot of effort into it, and it definitely pays off. Yeah,
it's
and
fun.
then my question, and you kind of led into it, but was there a thing that officially got you into USPSA? Like, I just want to try that, or did somebody say, hey, you're doing IDPA? And I noticed you have your IDPA vest on this evening, so that's awesome. But
this is my, it's still cold in Texas, but not cold enough for a jacket vest is what this is.
Yeah, I wore shorts and a t-shirt today, so
I'm not as hardcore as Big Johnson, but everybody knows that already.
Yeah, but what officially got you into ID or USPSA?
So in I mean, it was very much a progression where like I was like this close to making master in IDPA, and it got to the point where I'd show up to matches and there wasn't like anybody to really compete with, and I felt like I didn't feel like I was good, but not like good enough. So I felt like I needed somebody to chase. And kind of the spiel is we would get crossover shooters from USPSA, and a couple of them were Grand Masters. I was like, well, that's where the heat is. That's where I need to go if I want to get good at this thing. So, I mean, it's very much is, and I'm not disparaging IDPA. I'll shoot an IDPA major this year. I'll shoot several club matches this year. I think it's a great sport, but it's not like the premier shooting sport. It is very much kind of like the on-ramp to action pistol sports, because the gear is so much more approachable, and the target engagements are generally a little bit more forgiving, and the courses of fire are just very straightforward. So Dosaki, most interesting man in the world. I'll take that, guys.
I'm just throwing these up while you're talking, not just so people can.
No, it's fine with me. I've never had that comparison. But I get Seth Rogen is what people are like. I didn't realize Seth Rogen's brother was into guns. I'm like, well, sure. I wish he'd send checks like he used to, but doesn't anymore. So just the desire to see where this could go. Because I mean, part of the reason I adopted it as a hobby is like a lot of other people, like, I was able to get pretty good at something pretty quickly, but I never really was like really good at anything. So kind of, I was like, I need a productive hobby that I can get really good at and have it be like an actual, I mean, albeit very limited use life skill, but if you needed to be really good at guns, you would be glad you were when the time was appropriate. So that was kind of my approach, and why USPSA was so appealing.
Yeah, and it was kind of like me with my other past hobbies, and about them. Car racing, golf, stuff like that, long range or long drive stuff. But it's kind of like when I would get into a hobby or something, I would just go deep in it, and just try to be the best at everything. But when I noticed when I went to USPSA, not that I'm a bad shooter, I mean, I'm decent, but it's like, and I like the interest in it, but it's kind of like, my whole point was, if I want to shoot, like, just for example, and I know you've got different divisions, but just, like the Staccato, for example, if I wanted to shoot it, I'd automatically be thrown into limited, because it's single action and stuff like that. And I'm like, I kind of wish, and you and I have talked about this, I kind of wish they had like a, I guess, tactical kind of like carry division or something, just so you're not going against freaking open guns, to make it a little, I guess, on par with, other guys who might carry those type guns, or maybe even open up a single action. And I know they have the single stack division, but, something like that, I think it would even open up more people. And I'm all about trying to get more people into a certain sport. But it is what it is. So
I think, you're not the first person to say that. And I think that we're on the verge of kind of a reinvention of what kind of the divisions are in USPSA, because if you kind of go back and follow the origin of the sport, originally it was just open. Like That's all it was. And it was basically high powers versus 1911. So that's where major and minor power factor came from, because you would get 5 more shots, or you could have, I think they could use 10-round magazines or something back in the day with 45. So you had 10 or 13 rounds. And it just kind of kept going and going and going until like 1990, 1991, kind of eventually everybody was using like barrel weights, which turned into compensators with iron-sighted guns. But then Todd Jarrett shows up at Nationals in 91 with a frame-mounted optic, like a Tasco, I think it was. And he starts, wins Nationals, go on that year to win the World Shoot that way. And that kind of changed it forever. And that's kind of when the pattern of what an open gun became was. It's like, okay, not everybody wants to race those guys. Here's a limited division. So then it was open and limited. Fast forward to 2000 or so era. That's when they introduced production and single stack. And those seemed like good ideas. And then you kind of keep creeping forward and forward. It's like, well, then there's the assault weapons ban was introduced. So now there's limited 10. With single stack, I think came revolver. And it just keeps kind of creeping and creeping. 2016 carry optics and PCC are introduced. And that's kind of how we get where we're at. And it's very much kind of a cobbled together, like this is what guns used to be. And we just kind of limped along with it to what they are now. And I think at some point you have to ask yourself, like, who's playing this game? What's the point of this game? And do these rules make sense given in 2022, the equipment that people are using as an enthusiast shooting handguns? And I think that's where we're at, because I think we can agree that an optical sight is an advantage, but like the lines between a production gun and a limited gun are somewhat arbitrary. Like one has to be 40 caliber and one has to be, a 9mm, but effectively like a Shadow 2 and a 2011 limited gun are basically kissing cousins. They're so close together. So there's not really a big difference there. So
yeah,
I think we will reinvent.
I also have this question. Okay. Why is PCC your favorite division of USPSA?
It's I don't want to make people feel really bad about how good my reloads are, so I just use the division where I never have to reload, and that's what it is. Yeah.
No, I was leading into that, and I know you've said some things to me about PCC, and maybe I think you've said it out loud too. But that's what I'm saying. You've got people can go in and shoot a PCC, okay, but yet, and they can stand there, and they can hit them from, they don't even have to really move around like you or I do, they would, but you know what I mean? There is an advantage, I think. So you'll let PCC in, but you won't let a single action, gun in. Because hell, I've got, in my PCC, I've got a Hyperfire Elite or trigger. The thing is fast as shit. So, you definitely got an advantage. But it is what it is. So what is
they're working on it.
Yeah. If you want to say, what is your opinion of PCC in USPSA?
Honestly, I'm supportive of it. There's not really a good place for people who want to shoot like a rifle style competition to go shoot rifle style stuff. Like USPSA is the best thing for those people right now for that kind of practical shooting experience. And I'm honestly okay with it. Originally it was really popular and people were making fun of them and stuff like that. I'm kind of past that. Like, that's their match. They're doing their thing. They're coming out. They're participating. They're doing the thing. I'm generally supportive of the things that are going to get people at the range and shooting. I'm not going to tell somebody, hey, what we're doing is for this kind of gun, not for that kind of gun. So you need to go over there. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Exactly. And that's kind of where I was going with this, the IDPA, and granted, we all, I've shot an IDPA match or a couple matches before back when, I think I have videos of it at the, the Eagle gun range where Ranger Rick wouldn't let me shoot like one round every 3 seconds or some shit. But I think anything that gets somebody out to do it, and maybe they start in PCC or they start somewhere else and go to PCC or wherever, and I know you and I have been at matches where people will shoot the PCC division and also carry optics or whatever. They've got 2 entries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it just makes people shoot more. So that's what it's about.
Well, to make you feel better, there is a big discussion going right now in the USPSA community about single action carry optics. Infinity Guns here, basically in the DFW, is hosting the Infinity Open in October, and they have been approved by USPSA to have a provisional division of basically carry optics with single action guns.
Oh, so, cool. Well, maybe that'll spur that off.
There's a lot of conversation going on around it, so hopefully it happens.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, anything that starts a conversation where they'll say, and I guess with the results of it, see how many people participate, they might be like, hey, that's a good showing. We need to do something like that. So that's good. Here's a little different deal. What brand or style of gun is your least favorite?
Brand or style?
Meaning, double action, single action, striker fire. If there's a specific brand and or a brand and it's your least favorite.
Least favorite's tough because I can get behind some double action, single actions that are excellent. I can get behind strikers that are excellent, and my preference is single action guns right now. Just spending so much time shooting an open gun. I just like the precision of a single action gun. It's not like a big difference. Maybe not an exploitable advantage. I don't know, but just with my familiarity and how I spend most of my time pulling triggers, that I favor that style because that's what I'm used to. But I would say the style of action that is done poorly the most would probably be striker, because there's a lot of bad striker triggers out there.
Yeah.
They're all, but even still, as good as guns are right now, even a bad striker fire gun's not that bad. It's pretty good.
Right.
It's okay. Yeah. From a brand perspective.
Go ahead.
I'll say from a brand perspective right now, and this is based around kind of their disengagement with I'm all for guns getting better and better and better. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of what SIG's doing because they're continually moving the ball down the field for what you can do with handguns. The whole P365 XLSC thing, the Spectre comp with an integral compensator with a shorter barrel slide, never been done before. That's really cool that somebody thought to do that. And they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It's just cool. All right, you guys are doing stuff. But I'll say there's two. The first is Glock, because they started the game and then they just kind of stopped showing up. And it's not because I dislike Glocks. It's just that they have a tremendous market position to be able to do things that are significant. And you think about what their most recent offering was, and it's a 10-round 22 that doesn't work most of the time. And it's come on, guys, we can do better than that. Well, I guess technically the most recent offering is the Gen 5 40 calibers, but even still, it's who cares? And then behind them, and I got really excited about them, they were starting to open an American plant. They bought Colt, all this kind of stuff. Now I would say it's CZ. CZ is not quite on Glock's level with me, but they were really the Shadow 2 came out, and that was awesome. The P09, P07 were awesome. Then the P10 came out, and that's pretty awesome. And then it's just they're just no, we're good. We're just gonna leave it right there. It's what about optics ready? It's here's an optics ready gun. It's well, what about the plates? No, you got to buy those from Europe because we're too lazy to import them. And then they just haven't done anything with it. The 75 platform is really cool, but right now their optics mounting system on the 75, the plates themselves walk free with how they're designed, and the plate needs to be re-Loctited every 10,000 rounds or less, so that the plates don't wander off the slide, which has happened at matches I've been at. So it's just they never really embraced what the American modern pistol culture is, which is basically moving the ball. The only significant foreign pistol that's been made, as far as I know, recently has been the Alien. Yeah. But all the other stuff seems to be coming out of kind of the American development market because we have such a robust civilian market. So,
yeah,
I wish that they would do more cool stuff. I would love for CZ to show up and do that, but they just kind of have no, we're just going to give you whatever's left over from what Europe wants. And it's just
yeah, and that's what I was going to say. They really cater to IS, their whatever. What's that? It's what the hell do they shoot over there? That they're
USPSA. Yeah.
They cater to them. And
sure.
I'm seeing all these great questions come out. I appreciate it, everyone. We're just trying, Humble's on a limited time tonight. So I want to try to get all these questions, and then he's going to jump off and we can keep going. Now, this is a question I get asked all the time, but I want everybody to, have or get your opinion on it. What is your EDC? Okay, because people always want to know EDCs. And do you change it up? And if so, why?
Sure. My EDC for ease of use, for a long time it was the Hellcat, but probably about a year or so ago, I made the switch back to the what is it, 365 XL, simply because like the grip sleeve that I was using on the Hellcat, like it created some wonkiness and unsteadiness in my grip. Like I could get more consistent results with a full length grip that I could get all my fingers on without using magazine base pad as a piece of the grip. I like both those guns. I think they're both fantastic. I'm getting a 365. What is it now? 365. Hellcat Pro is on the way right now. I got one of those ordered to do a video on. So I'll check that out. Maybe I change my answer. We'll see. But I like the 365 XL because I want a red dot and it's red dot capable, and I put a red dot on it, and that's it. It's really light, really lightweight. It's got enough firepower where I feel all right, and it's easy enough to make hits with. It's tough to shoot fast. I like carrying my I do have two full-size guns that I like to carry around. One of them is the Walter Q4 SF, which I love dearly. It's probably one of my favorite guns. And then the other one that I really like is the P320 AXG Scorpion that I have. Like those are the two guns, like on the weekend where I don't care if I print it all or anything like that. Those are the two guns I like to carry. Sometimes it's the Walter, and I do change it up a little bit, but I mean, traditionally, more often than not, I would say 6 days out of 7, I'm grabbing the 365. It's just like, I love these guns. I'm going to carry this gun just for fun. But I mean, I can shoot either one of those guns fluently because they both kind of present like my open guns. So it's not I mean, in fact, I would say I shoot them both better than my 365 XL, but whatever.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people, and I know that I have this issue, everybody's like, oh my God, you should carry, the 365, or you should carry this. You and I are kind of hand challenged. And a lot of people don't understand that or can't relate to it. But I look at it this way, and we both carry appendix. So, and the way that I test a gun, and maybe you do the same thing, is I'll just dry fire, empty gun, I'm safe, all that good stuff. But I'll put it in the holster and I'll just, grab the shirt and just, try to grab it as quick as I can. I don't really necessarily set the timer, but you know what I mean? Just practicing grabbing the gun. And when I deal with a tiny grip gun or a little baby type gun that is smaller than my freaking hand, like maybe 4 out of 10 times, I might miss the damn grip. There's just not enough to purchase that I feel comfortable with. And of course you add adrenaline to that and, something like that, it's going to be a bad day for me. And that's kind of the way I look at it. And that's the way that I kind of judge a carry gun for me. And I know other people are going to vary, but do you do anything like that when you're thinking about carrying a gun?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't like to carry anything I can't get all my fingers on, like a compromised grip. Like both you and I have big enough frames where it doesn't really make sense. Like it's not getting you anything by having the grip be shorter. So like the absolute minimum I'll go is like a 365 XL grip module length, is because I can get, generally speaking, it's easy to present with those. The full size, like thicker guns, I get better presentation on. Like my presentation is more consistent with those. They're roughly the same speed unless I completely miss, which is more common on the skinny guns. But generally speaking, I mean, it's an acceptable level of performance in my mind. Like I'm not trying to set, world speed shooting records in my concealed carry gear, but like I could, more importantly, I'm more concerned with like, if I had to take a shot down the end of an aisle at Walmart, could I do it?
Yeah.
And my eyes are such that if it's irons, I can't. So I need a dot. And that's about it.
Yeah, with the aging eyes, that's where I've noticed the dot has really helped me a lot. And I know, you're kind of the one that really kind of got me into the dots. And, if you remember, I put it on the P10F and you were like,
Mm-hmm.
this is the only gun you can shoot for like, I don't know what you told me, like 3 months. You can't shoot anything else.
Yeah.
You
Put
know,
you in timeout.
yeah. And so I shot it for like 2 weeks and I was like, oh shit, I want to go back to irons. And you're like, no, just stay with it, and we were communicating. And then once I got it down, I'm like, shit, I don't know why. I mean, I can still shoot iron guns, but I'm definitely faster. I'm definitely, of course, target focused, not staring at the
Yeah,
dot.
yeah.
I mean, with my aging eyes and stuff, you're not looking at the front side or, even kind of shadowing it, like, or I forget the exact term, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
With this, you're just target focused all the time. So have more awareness. You're not kind of, I don't know. It just really opened them up. Put it this way, I have way more peripheral. I can just see everything around me, even with the dot. And it's just really, really benefited me. And I've got 2 stigmatisms, one in each eye, and I just work through that. But, yeah, you're officially the one that truly, truly got me into dots.
Yeah, you were going through a phase there for a minute where I think you changed guns you carry more than you change underwear. You're
Yeah.
a pretty clean guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, and as far as EDC, I mean, I definitely love the Staccato C2. I really love the Staccato P. But yeah, I can carry the P10C. I mean, I can carry, and like you said, I definitely want a gun that I can get a full grip on. And if I have to change mags, which is probably not going to happen in a self-defense unless you've got a whole freaking group of people. But, if you have to change mags, I don't really like the meat, like your RDO, your LTT.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's a shorter grip for me, or
It
maybe
is,
it's
yeah, it
angle,
is.
but it pinches, my meat fat there and stuff. So I just try to look for something that, and of course it's going to vary with hand sizes. I mean, I'm shorter. I'm 6'3", you're 6'5", and I think my hands are bigger than yours.
They are. It's true.
Yeah, because we did the little. Humble was like, put your hand up, and made me do that. So yeah, my hands are bigger than his, and hell, I could palm a basketball at 11 years old. So, it's just one of those freak things. But I'm hindered when it comes to smaller guns. Sometimes I would like to carry a smaller gun, but it's just doesn't work for me, and I'm not going to put myself in that particular situation where if I grab it, I might miss it, or hell, I could still miss a bigger gun. But
yeah. Oh no, I mean, it's a personal choice. There's not like an objectively best answer for everybody. I generally do think dots help people out, and I think I would recommend most people, like new people, don't have an issue adopting dots. In fact, like they get it on an intuitive level because it makes more sense. But people who've been shooting guns a really long time, those are the ones who have the most resistance to the dot, and it's just like, I don't know. It's like driving a manual transmission with none of the joy of driving a manual transmission. And then it's like, you could just have an automatic transmission and it would make you a better driver almost immediately. And it's just like, no, but I'm used to this manual. It's like, well, yeah.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're getting a throw shifter and you're wanting to go super, super fast on a quarter mile, it can have its benefits.
It's not a perfect analogy for sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah, not for me anyway. But and just okay, and everybody asked me my opinions, but of course I own them. I know you don't officially own any, but you have shot them and you've even done videos. But what is your opinion on a Staccato?
I think Staccatos are awesome. I don't like the price they're selling them at. Like, I feel like they're a little bit overpriced for the quality that you're getting. But I also recognize like they're not exactly for me. They're kind of like, I feel like the price point that they're selling at should be closer to the Bull Armory price point, just based on what you're getting from a feature set. But they're awesome pistols. Like, I really like Staccatos, and the fact that they're made in Texas, like, I will buy a Staccato one day. I'm not quite there yet, but yeah, I think they're good.
That's why people ask me, why do you buy Staccatos? I mean, I really like them, and honestly, I haven't had any problem with the quality. And I mean, I pull them apart and look at them, when I clean them. I'm not, the anal cleaning person, and I know you're not either.
No.
But I take them apart and inspect them. I haven't seen any weird wear. I haven't seen any holster wear. And hell, mine's holstered, and I mean, I definitely work them. But I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary, and definitely they're 100% made in Texas. All the money stays in Texas. I'm supporting a Texas company. I'm born and raised, so I really like them. But
that's a big part of the reason I really like them is they are, a local domestic company. I will favor a domestic firearms manufacturer over a 411 simply from I just kind of it lines up with what I think about things. But I mean, shadow systems for like a Glock style gun or a Staccato, like both of them, I think simply because they are in Texas, it's something that I personally would like to support. But when I say, don't hear me say that, like Staccatos are super high quality guns. If your only experience is like grabbing a gun off the shelf at the gun store or whatever it is, and it's, any $300 to $600 gun, and then you grab a Staccato, you're going to be like, holy cow, this gun is on a completely different wavelength. And it is. But I also have handled Infinities.
Yeah.
So it's a similar experience to grab a Staccato and then grab an Infinity, just from like, but all you're really nuancing on is like quality of controls. Like the controls are a little bit more refined on an Infinity, but I mean, you sniff enough corks, you get used to it. And then the fit, like as a pride and ownership thing, like Infinities are, one day I'd like to own an Infinity, but
yeah, I mean, I've shot
in the meantime, I'll own a Staccato.
Yeah, I've shot Infinities, I've shot Akais, I've shot, of course, I own the Masterpiece Arms, and it is definitely a tighter tolerance, and it's actually more accurate in my hand than my Staccato. However, it's heavier. I've got the aluminum P, or the, alloy P, whatever you want to call it. Some people get pissed when I say alloy, but I'm meaning aluminum.
Right.
So the Masterpiece Arms is definitely heavier. There's a lot of benefits to that for accuracy, but they're both great guns. But I've shot them all. Shot in what's the other one? Atlas. I've shot a ton of Atlas. They're great guns too. But all right, now this is another thing. Will you get your kids? And I noticed your last video. Will you get your kids into shooting? Like USPSA steel challenges. Do they have interest in that?
My oldest is part of a kind of like they've always enjoyed shooting the 22 rifles a little bit. Like my middle child, he's a little smaller, so he's just not quite to the size yet where it's really enjoyable for him. Like the only guns that would really fit him would be like bolt action crickets, just because they got little hands, and the length of pull on the stock is too long, even with a short stock.
Yeah.
So the 1022 is because I got a takedown model, which pro tip, don't get a takedown 1022. Just get a regular one because there's way more chassis to fit youths on a regular 1022 versus the takedown model. There might be some now, but last time I looked like 2 years ago, there weren't any. But as far as like junior size stocks are concerned, but the new P322, it is something that my 11-year-old can manage. So there is a steel challenge match in DFW now on a monthly basis. So I am going to look at taking him, the oldest one, at least, to the steel challenge match. And my extra P322 magazine showed up today. So now I have enough magazines to actually do it.
Did you get the 25 rounder? They're coming out with a 25 rounder for it.
Those were not like those. I don't think those were ready off the production lines yet at the time they launched the gun. Like they're coming, but they're not there yet.
Gotcha. Well, when you do that 22 challenge, holler at me because I'd like to go do that.
You want to come do steel challenge? Yeah, I'll put it on the calendar.
I got that tricked out Ruger that, I love that gun. It's awesome.
Well, you can shoot anything, man. They've got like 32 divisions, so you can freaking
no, but I want to shoot my 22. It's tricked out for it. I got tons of mags, and now some of my mags have the follower where it gives you one more, so they're only 11 rounds, not 20. But still.
Oh, you just need 5 magazines for it, and if you have 5 magazines, that's all you need. You just swap it out after each stage. And
Dave, do you even know me?
I know you got a pile of them, man.
I have a pile of mags for each gun. Come on.
What the people cannot see in Big Johnson's man cave right there is his wall of stuff. It's got bins and bins and bins of magazines. Bins of them.
Can't tell everything.
No.
All right. Any interest in long guns, ARs, shotguns, 3-gun, doing any of that kind of stuff, or interest in long guns?
Shotguns, as in like sporting clays, absolutely. I think that's fantastic. Shotguns in a practical shooting context, no, not at all. Reloading shotguns is not that interesting to me, and I can shoot a pistol well enough to not see the need for a shotgun. Multi-gun as in like a PCC or an AR and a pistol, yeah, that could be pretty cool. I'd get down with that. I just haven't really done anything with it because there's like they closed down. There's only basically one outdoor range in DFW now to really go shoot those.
Yeah, it's
It's just,
ECTS and Waxahachie,
yeah,
and
and
that's
it's
a
the
good race
furthest one
for us.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an hour 15 from the house. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't stop me from going shooting USPSA matches there. It's just I don't love those things enough to commit 2.5 hours in the car to go do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can shoot pistols for a lot less time investment, and time is my big limiting factor right now. I think they're awesome. I like them all. I'd love to get into more of that stuff one day. I mean, I probably will be picking up a PCC to mess around with just because they're fun to shoot. I mean, I get it. They're fun.
I told you can use mine anytime you want.
That's right. You got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Well, you got one really nice one at least.
Yeah, no, I have one really nice one, really fast, fast shooting one, and you're more than welcome to use it anytime you want to go play with it and see what you think before you buy. Okay, what do you use personally for home defense?
Personally, I mean, I've got, just because I don't spend a bunch of time training with my AR, I've got them. Like I could go get one. I just am way more accustomed to having a pistol. So, I mean, I've got a pistol with a light. I think it's right now the one where my light is the Q4 SF. Right now, my home defense gun would be my Q4 SF with a TLR1 would be my home defense gun right now.
Yeah. And I have more than one. So, I can grab the shotty, I can grab the 300, I can grab, pistols. Okay. And this is a question that, and not for an open gun, but this is a question I get asked. What is, or similar to it, what is your favorite gun? You can only pick one other than your open gun. We've already done your
So
worst.
first, let me sing sing a love song about open guns. They're the best guns, and everybody should shoot open guns. They're just the best. But moving on from that, I can only shoot one gun other than an open gun. I'm gonna cheat.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the P320. It doesn't matter which model because I could have access to all of the different slides and grip modules and all
chassis.
That nonsense. Yeah, modular stuff. I'm messing around with the next review that it's a couple down in the queue, but next review that I put out is going to be on the P320 Spectre comp, and that thing's pretty cool. I like that one a lot.
Okay. Yeah, and that was my prediction. With SIG having this modularity, they could officially come out with a PCC where you just put the module in it. For the states that like you can only own 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the benefit in having that, but with the modular chassis, I mean, like you could just buy a PCC set up without a trigger because that's the serialized part. It could be shipped to your door. You throw your trigger assembly in it and do that. But heck, they could come out with ARs. They could come out with all this crap, but you'd still have to get used to that SIG trigger. And you and I can agree. Yeah, you and I can agree it's not the best. I mean, but again, we're kind of trigger snobs too. A lot of people aren't.
Right.
But okay, then here's one that I had written down, but of course, I think other people or a couple of other people have said this. Okay, have you ever, or do you support this? You've got USPSA, you've got IDPA. Okay, then you have like tactical games or low light situations or tactical type classes or tactical type, shooting. Do you think USPSA would ever come out with anything like USPSA Tactical, like what I was talking about earlier, where they came out, and I hate that word tactical anyway, but
sure,
where they would come out with like low light, competitions, or for the guys who wanted to wear their nods, if there was like a setup of those guys, they could do that, but it was more like tactical door kicking kind of crap, but you were scored on it. Do you see that would ever happen?
It could. Like, that's all personality dependent on who's pulling the strings at headquarters, right? So you've got 9 area directors and a president that make those kinds of decisions. Like, they decided to buy Steel Challenge when it was going into default. They had the opportunity to buy 3 Gun Nation, but they passed on it. Anything is possible, and I think there is an unmet need Like there needs to be a sanctioning body for that kind of stuff. Like you can't just have a bunch of outlaw matches all over. Like it makes sense, and USPSA has the biggest stick right now in that regard, to where they could kind of bring order to the chaos and kind of do that. But they can't get out of their own way to be successful in that kind of stuff. Like it would take money, it would take investment, and it would take the will of members to allow them to spend money on doing such a thing. But I think they could and probably should. Like for me, I think the next logical stepping point for USPSA is to get multi-gun functional and get matches hosted, because like 2-gun with USPSA scoring, whether it's rifle or PCC, and it could be both. I mean, you could use the same rule set for either. It's just based on the host ranges. It's easier to find pistol ranges than rifle ranges.
Yeah. But, even if you were to do like, and that again, you've got the PCC and USPSA, that's where you could do a match and you could use like a 2-gun. You could do like a 2-gun and use your pistol and only a PCC, not an AR, so you're not shooting, center, or what I mean, 223 or 5.56. But you could do a PCC version, and the guys could wear their kit if they want to kind of LARP, you know what I mean? Or, even for law enforcement, they could wear all their gear and use like tactical belts and stuff like that. But I think that would bring a huge amount of people into the sport for that type of setup. And it doesn't necessarily have to be. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm agreeing with you. Absolutely. It's just that the way it's set up is like it's basically a not-for-profit organization. So it's not like they're making a bunch of money. So there's not like a big financial incentive for them to do so. So, I mean, that's my big sticking point is like they could dominate on social media because they have such an interesting product that they would just spend the time to produce interesting online content for it, that like they lose a seventh of their members year on year every year. So how do you replace them? You go to where the people's eyeballs are and you put out interesting gun-related content. People who like guns see that content. I'm getting summoned. I'm afraid I've exceeded my time.
You have. Well, I appreciate it, and you answered all the questions. So thank you so much. Humble's going to jump off. We'll stay on, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you so much for your time, sir.
Yeah, buddy. It's good to see you again, Mike. We'll get together soon.
You too. Take care. Everybody, go subscribe to Humble Marksman if you haven't already. Now we will get to some questions. So if y'all have any about what Humble was saying or opinions or anything like that, yeah, I was going to ask him, Harry, but like I said, I was going to get into that. I was going to try to blister him and get into some tactical games, see if that was something he wanted to play with. But yeah, I mean, that was really great. I mean, I've known Humble for a long time personally, even outside of YouTube. I've shot with him a lot, shot some matches with him. Really good guy. And he's a wealth of knowledge. So, and really, really a good shooter. So, and we'll have him back again too. He and I are going to try to set up some stuff to go to the range, and I'll shoot some of his guns that he's got, and he'll shoot some of mine that maybe he hasn't shot. What I'm going to do, just so y'all know, is I'm going to take, as long as we can shoot it wherever we go, but I'm going to take the 870, or excuse me, the 590A1, and we're going to get some. He likes shooting clays, but I'm going to get some tactical shotgun behind him. Let him shoot 300 blackout suppressed. We're going to get some stuff like that behind him, so he'll get an itch, and maybe he'll come on over to the rifle / PDW side too. But yeah, he's a really, really good guy. And he did put out a new video on the SIG P322. We didn't really get into it, but he did get to go down to Florida with SIG. If y'all saw his video, I think that's a really cool pistol that SIG is offering now. 20 rounds of 22 is never a bad thing. It is optic ready, and you can put a suppressor on it with a thread adapter. So that's a pretty cool thing. Matter of fact, and I've said this numerous times, and I was even looking for it, getting the Taurus or something like that. But I didn't want an optic, and the competition has that open type barrel. And you'd have to kind of have a weird holster for it. But I was interested now that they've got the SIG coming out. Heck, that might be the 22 I get for a higher capacity, and being able to shoot suppressed, and apparently it runs every kind of ammo, suppressed. Like mine, my Ruger, I love it. It's super fast. It's got an Apex trigger in it. I love it. I've even got lock grips on it. I've got a lot of tandem cross parts on it. It's really fast and it shoots really well. However, I've got a maximum of 11 rounds. So, and one of the pipes, so that'd be 12. But I much prefer a higher capacity. So who knows? I might get the P322 and play around with it, or hell, I might just shoot humbles, see what I think about it, and then if I like it, I might be getting one. But let's see here. And if you have any questions for me, please shout them out. And if I missed them, I'm sorry. I was just trying to get through that interview because I know that he had a family obligation that came up at the last moment. So, but yeah, and that would be funny. Harry and I have talked about this, having Humble do some cowboy action shooting, or the lever action. That'd be pretty funny. But yep, Uncle Dan's saying the P322 is his next purchase, and I just bought another TX22. Yeah, and I mean the TX22s. Everybody who's had one really, really likes them, and I was actually going to buy one, but I wanted it to where I could have the optics similar to, not a ride. I guess like their competition one, which I think is cool too. And I have seen the prices coming down on that, but if this SIG, is around the 399 mark, is which they're claiming, and it probably won't be when it first hits the market. Everybody will be paying $700 and $800 for it, craziness. But once it dies down, if I like it, shooting his, I might grab another one, or I might grab one. But did y'all have any questions or anything about anything that he said, or do y'all have opinions on, like USPSA? I just want to, I know a lot of people in this chat do shoot USPSA, and of course I was going with Humble, and he was, or actually I was driving and he was going with me a lot to some of these matches. But I kind of want to be able to shoot like whatever I carry, and that was one of the things that I was bitching at him about, is having the Staccato and being able to shoot it. Even the non-comped one, being able to shoot it in like a carry optics, like kind of carry type thing. But of course you can't shoot single action because or you automatically get thrown into open. And I'm like, me going against freaking major race guns, I mean, I'm going to get dominated. But I could still go shoot it just for fun, but I'm like, damn, so many people carry those now. Seems like they would open up some sort of a division, whether it's carry optic minor or carry optic tactical or something, because they're allowing, flashlights now. And really, when you draw a pistol striker fire, you draw it and you just pull the trigger. I'm having to draw it, pop off the safety, and then pull the single action. So I'm sure if you really put it on a timer, they're probably very equal. But it is what it is. So who knows? Yeah, Lynx was saying put on orange, so I put the orange light on. But yes, and everybody's asking about the orange truck, the TRX. That is a special edition. They're very hard to find. I had a dealer who had one. I was going in to visit with them, and they happened to have that. So, I wanted to take a picture because some people haven't ever seen it. But yeah, that's a sweet truck. But the prices on trucks now are insane. I would definitely love to have a TRX, but as much as I drive, you have to run premium unleaded in them. And we all know the prices on that. I mean, hell, sometimes I drive 3,000 miles a month, which most people do in, 3 or 4 or 5 months. So that would not be fun on the wallet for purchasing it now, or the wallet for filling it up right now. So not saying I won't ever have a TRX, but not at this moment. Yeah, and here's the deal. KO, you can use your Staccato P with a red dot at local matches, but not at APA or USPSA. Yeah, there are outlaw matches, which aren't USPA sanctioned, and I can go shoot them there. And I've shot outlaw matches with Humble. The outlaw match that we have here is, man, it's a fucking train wreck. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not trying to discredit anybody that shoots at it, but those little bitches get in there and argue and complain and whine about everything, and it turns into either an argument fight or a pissing match, and it's just not fun to go shoot at that particular place. I'm not going to call them out and say their name, but it is what it is. So let's see here. I still prefer a shotgun for home defense. I am not a bullseye shooter, especially in fast action. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, for my home defense, I've got a shotgun, 300 blackout, and a pistol. So, I mean, I'm ready to go with whatever is going on. And it kind of depends on the way your home is set up, your areas. I don't shoot slugs in my tactical shotgun inside of a home because I definitely take out one of my neighbors. But yeah, buckshot. And people always ask, but when it comes to buckshot, I do prefer 8 pellets over 9 pellets because the way they pattern, I don't care. I'll shoot a pattern of 8 and they're like this. But if I shoot a pattern of 9, for some reason, and it's in multiple shotguns, and I've even seen it on video with other people, but the 8 will be here, and that 9th one is always up here because the way they have to stack them in there, they can do 2, 4, 6, 8. But when they stick that 9th one, they just stick it somewhere because it has nowhere to stack, and that's usually the one that gets thrown. So I don't need that. But let's see here. What's the markup? It's a lot. I'll text it to you later, but that truck is not cheap. Not cheap at all. It's well over 6. So 6 figures. We'll just say that. What is my go-to shotgun? My personal go-to shotgun is a 590A1. I'm a big Mossberg fan. I've said this numerous times, and I have 870s, and I used to have a whole collection of, I sold a bunch of them off. I had a whole collection of, oh shit, what were they? They were the Waterfowl Edition Remingtons. Shit. I even had 2 with consecutive model numbers. God dang it. Harry, you'll have to remind, I've already forgotten. What the hell's the name of my shotguns that I had a whole damn collection of? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but I prefer the Mossberg because the safety's on the top. I have large fingers. I don't like pushing that stupid little safety on the Remingtons and stuff. I like a top safety because my hands are large. It works better for me. So I'm a big Mossberg fan. I've got 2 930s that are tricked out with plus each one of those shotguns, and they're both set up the same way. They've got Nordic extensions on them. I've shown them in video before. They've got +9 tubes on them, so they're each one of them are 55 inches long from top to bottom. And I've got 2 of the same ones set up the same way. But as far as tactical shotguns, I just like the 590. So, and like the Maverick, hell, I had a Maverick for 100 years and never even cleaned it, and the damn thing always shot. So, yes, God, thank you, Harry. I'm losing my mind. 870 Wingmasters. I used to have a whole collection of them. I think I had 7 of them at one time, 7 or 8 of them. A lot of them were really collectible. I have the Browning. I've got a bunch of shotguns, but I have the Browning. What is it? The 16 with gold shit all over it. It was like 1 of 5. So I definitely love shotguns. Hello, X-Ring. How are you, man? Yeah, I didn't go to the Texas Blade Show, but Manic told me you were there. And I was like, God dang it. Oh, yeah, you got to visit Texas Gun Experience. Really nice range and store. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yep. He told me you were at the knife show, and I was like, damn it. I had a bunch of family stuff I had to do. I would have loved to come out and see you, sir. Yeah, and if y'all want to check out a great channel, X-Ring's got one. Let's see here. You still need to be accurate with a shotgun, Florida, and you don't need to be a bullseye shooter. Yeah, a lot of people just think you aim a shotgun or just set it down, just throw it out there and you're going to hit. And that's not true. You need to aim one. So, yeah, and I know people do this, but I won't, I don't use bird shot for home defense. I know a lot of people do, but I personally won't. As in the name, bird shot. So that's for birds. Will it hurt you? Hell yeah, it will. I've actually been peppered in the shoulder with bird shot. It's not fun. So not good. But let's see here. Picked up some 22 shot shells. I've never used any. They hard on the barrel. Honestly, I think, and this is my opinion, Milkman, I think 22 shot shells are worthless. I've actually, when I was a kid, there were the CCI shot shells or whatever. I try to shoot snakes with them, and it wouldn't even freaking hurt. The snake was still trucking. So you got to be really, really close to really do some damage. But I'm not a fan of those personally. I've got some, but I won't even use them. Oh, let's see here. He is doing well. Went down the 22 hole. Yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Yep. No rights in New Jersey or New York. That's for sure. We have definitely heard that. Richard Jenkins, what is a good 22 or 12 gauge home defense ammo? What I really like, it's flight control. I think it is, God dang it, it's called flight control. It's federal flight control, 8 pellet. That's the one I really like. That's the one that patterns the best. And your shotgun could pattern differently. So please don't just buy ammo and throw it in your gun. Please go shoot it so you know what it does. But I really do like the flight control a lot. It does very well. But again, I prefer the 8 over the 9 because that 9th one is always a flyer. And it could be this high, it could be that high, it could be over a shoulder. So just be aware of that. But I check mine and if you shoot in an indoor range, you can shoot 12 gauge as long as it's buckshot or a slug. They won't let you shoot birdshot because you shoot the damn ceiling or the tear up their targets. But I usually check them at 5 yards, 10 yards, 25 yards, 15 yards, just so I know kind of where they are. Also, my 590 does have a pick rail on it. So I actually do run a dot on my shotgun. I never had before, but I put a 507 on there, Hollow Sun, and started using it. And I just wanted to see if I could blow the damn thing up and have it short out or blow the dot out of it. And I haven't been able to yet. Matter of fact, I just shot it the other day. I didn't even video it. Let's see here. I got this can, and I was shooting, what are these? Fiocchi. I was shooting a bunch of these. Fiocchi, and these are 8-shot. Let's see, hang on, what are they? Yeah, that's what this is. This one's 9 pellet, 2 3/4 12 gauge Fiocchi 9 pellet. And the reason I'm shooting 9 in this is because I don't use this for home defense, but it does pattern very well on my shotgun. And also, I always give this tip: if you throw all your ammo in a bucket, and this thing's full of 12 gauge of all the same, but all the boxes, tear off your tags, these right here, because that's your lot number. So if you ever have anything go bad, you'll have your lot number where you can tell Fiocchi it blew up my gun or whatever, and even do the same thing for your ammo if you buy ammo and dump it all in a can. And I don't mix cans, so I don't mix 115 with 124 or 115 Federal with Blazer Brass, so that way I can keep all the lots together and the same brand together. That's just what I do. Oh, here we go. Big J ate at Heart 8 Barbecue last week in Dallas. Great barbecue and really unique serving process. Yes, I love Heart 8. Really good barbecue. Did you ate at the one in Dallas? So it's probably Colleyville. But yeah, it's really good barbecue. So they yeah, super popular. Matter of fact, I've got some of my guys coming in this week, or this they're coming in tomorrow. Matter of fact, so I think I'm going to take them there tomorrow night for dinner. So I got a big busy weekend. Fiocchi did send me some more ammo after I had a squib load on 158 grain 9mm. Yeah, and that's the thing. If on those, when you tear off those labels, and if they're you can't tear them, I'll just use a knife or something to cut them and put them in the box or the bags. I've got those ammo bags too that I carry in my range bag, so I'll even have the tags in there with the lot numbers. But that is the thing. You can use that to go back and just say, hey, here was the lot number, because I've had some issues with some ammo in the past, and they wanted the lot number, and I had it available. But if I would have thrown the boxes away, I wouldn't have had it. So always a good idea to think about that. Hey, Big J, what do you think about the Advantage Arms 22 LR Glock conversion kit? Russ, personally, I've never used that. I've got the P09 conversion. Let's see, I've got the Those are the only conversions. And I've got like 322 pistols other than that conversion. But I mean, I just don't have any experience with that one. So I would be the wrong person to ask. And if I don't ask, I mean, if I haven't shot it, I'll honestly tell you. Hutchins in Dallas. Yeah, Hutchins. I've never been to Hutchins, I don't think. Okay, we can't be friends. 407 barbecue. Yeah. And there's actually another good one called Fat Cow. It's actually in Louisville, I think. It's Fat Cow Barbecue. It's actually pretty good too. Yeah, and you can shoot the mini mags. You can have that little adapter. There's an adapter that's made in Texas. They make one for the 870, or excuse me, for the 590s and stuff. And you can put the adapter in them and shoot all the mini shells too. So I've shot mini shells before. They're actually pretty cool. It is, but we're friends, and he loves or probably lives close enough to 407 at least. He didn't say meet you anywhere. Yeah, I'm not a big meet you anywhere fan. I mean, I've eaten there before, but I don't think it's that great. Not one of my favorites by any means. Oh, Hutchins and McKinney and Frisco. There's another one. It's actually Mexican barbecue. It is out. God, what is the name of that place? It's really good. Damn it. It's out in the Hurst Euless Bedford area, I believe. Damn, I can't remember their name, but it's good barbecue too. And I've been to Pecan Lodge in downtown Dallas, and it's good. They have a freaking beef rib that's like this big. It's like $35 for a beef rib. It's really good. But any more questions? We're definitely at that time, but if there is any more questions, we will answer it. Having a little Blanton's this evening. It's gone. But yeah, it was good to have Humble on here. We talk quite a bit outside of YouTube also. Oh, okay. Mr. Media, we got to shoot soon. I have a one-of-a-kind Atlas. Hey, man, I'm in. When you want to go to the farm, let me know. And I'll schedule. I can't this weekend, but maybe we could do it next weekend. Go out to the farm and do some outdoor shooting. I would love to do that. Got to break some stuff in, and I'd love to do it outdoor. Yep, Mexican barbecue. It is beef. They have beef, chicken, all that stuff. It's kind of a Mexican flair, so it's real spicy. It's kind of spicy, and of course, smoked. It's really good though. I can't remember the dang name of it though. Oh, I know which Atlas you're talking about. I know what's actually. I know. Yeah, I know what. Yeah, you sent me a picture of it. Yeah, it is definitely one of a kind. Hell, I saw that. I've actually shot that gun, just not the way it is now. Yep. This person knows about it too. Oh, hell, Lynx, we'll have you on here. Yeah, you're more than welcome to anytime, sir. Matter of fact, if y'all need some great rifle bags, pistol bags, Lynx Defense definitely has them. Yep, good stuff. They're all American made. Hell, I've got 2 pistol bags and 1, 2, 3, 4. Hell, I've got 5, I think 4 or 5 rifle bags. So yeah, great products. Oh, you like the cabrito? Uncle Dan likes cabrito. Yeah, I mean, we used to smoke, or my grandfather used to smoke goat every 4th of July, and they ate the shit out of it. But I'm not a big goat fan. It's greasy as hell to me, and it's dark meat. But it is what it is. But I'm not really that, and I've had it cooked all different kinds of ways. But I'm not a big goat fan. The same with duck and goose. I don't really like duck or goose either. But any other questions y'all can think of? But we've got some great people on here that have good channels. Please go check them out. Let's share the community. We've got X-Ring, we've got Lynx Defense, Harry's Holsters, all that good stuff. Other people, I might have missed them, but yeah, if they have channels, please go over and check them out. Definitely want to share the community. But we'll give it like 5 more minutes. Y'all have any more questions, any comments, anything, that Humble said that you don't agree with or you do agree with? If you want to bring that up, that's cool too. Yeah, no problem, Pistol Pete. I appreciate y'all all being on, and I'm sorry the first part of it I couldn't answer a lot of questions. I knew he was on a limited schedule, time wise, so I wanted to try to get all the questions in just so y'all, would have a little better understanding of what Humble's all about. But yeah, he does some really good reviews and stuff like that too. But hopefully we'll be able to get together soon, and but I do want to get him out to ETTS. Hopefully he can have a weekend or a Saturday where we can go out there and shoot some long guns and play around with some stuff. Thanks everyone, but yeah, that's actually a really good question. If he's still on here, X-Ring, is your daughter still tearing it up in competitions? She's still shooting competitions. That's funny, Uncle Dan. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm talking about like ARs longer than a pistol. PCC. I mean, I've got 308. I just don't have a 338 Lapua like you do. But or actually, I don't know. Do you still have that 338? Yeah, that's actually a really good question, Floridian. Academy is starting to raise their prices. They used to be like really, really reasonable, but they're starting to creep up there. Like I'm seeing, basic 9mm, not the Russian stuff, but basic 9mm for like $22 a box. So it's not like the 15, 16 that it used to be. They're definitely creeping up there. Hello, LW Road. How are you, man? Yeah, also LW Road has a good channel too. If y'all want to check out some stuff, you're more than welcome to go over and check him out. Mr. Media has a 375 Shy-Tech coming to a channel near you. Cool. Maybe we'll get to go out and shoot that thing. Matter of fact, with Mr. Media, when I went out with him, his 338 Lapua is the farthest I've ever shot. I can't remember. What did we shoot? Was it 1,250 yards or 1,200 yards that day? I know we were trying to go for like 16, but it's freaking windy as piss. But what distance did we go? I say it in that video, but that was my first time. I know I was either 1,200 or over 1,250. Okay. So yeah, that was the farthest I've ever personally shot, was with his 338 Lapua, and it was windy as shit that day. But that's the farthest I've ever shot. And then prior to that same day, I took, was shooting my 308. I don't know. We shot it like at 6, and I don't know. I think did we do 800 that day with my 308? I was lobbing them in there. But yeah, that was a good day. Oh, and also he was out there. I had that squib that we had to knock out of my 308. I'm glad I didn't pull the trigger, but had a squib. The bullet actually came off and the bullet came apart, and I had to use one of his punches. I had to use one of his punches to knock that. Yeah, that would have been a bad day for that 308, for that Lancer. So I was able to punch it out and not damage the gun. So that's always a good day. And I've had squibs and pistols before, but it's been a long, long time. So, but all right, we will wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. Like I said, check everybody else out. Hit that thumbs up button if you like what I'm doing here. And I'm got some other people that I'm going to be interviewing. I think you'll really be interested in them. I don't really want to give it away, because if I say one thing, I'll just say it's a manufacturer. But I've got some other people that are going to be on, so I think y'all will really like it. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all all have a great night. And remember, an armed nation's a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Be safe, everybody.